Hey, and welcome. Listen, I didn't even plan to do this, so here we are. Hopefully, the audio is not crazy. My mic's here, but I'm in the bathroom. It was like a last minute thing, but if you clicked on this video, you probably here for the real and the raw because you already know how your girl gives it up. The mind is racing, y'all. It's racing, racing, racing. Like I said, I didn't even intend to come on here and talk about this. Look, dropping things already. But it's just I had so many thoughts. I had so many thoughts. I had so many feelings. I did not take one single lick of notes. I don't even know how I'm gonna handle this. You know what I think? I think I will make this a my 2 cents video. Just easy enough. When I saw it, your girl loves, absolutely loves some Kelly Rowland. So I was super duper excited. Trevante Rhodes, why not? When I saw the man's name was associated, I was not quite as excited. I thought the title was clever, so I was like super duper excited to see what the 2 hours worth of movie was going to give me. So, Mea Culpa in Latin means through my own fault. And in law terms, which the main character, Kelly Rowland's Mia, um, it means an admission of guilty or responsibility for a specific offense or wrongdoing. I'm going to let's add this to the stage. Hopefully it's not too shaky. Here I am down here in the corner. So we had, a wonderful cast. We have Kelly Rowland, we have Trevante Rhodes, we have Sean and Nick Sagar, who are brothers. Shannon Thornton, M.I. Crickletta, everybody knows who Mississippi is. Ron Rico Lee, who we love, and Angela Robinson, who you guys know from, I think it's The Have and Have Nots. I don't watch it, but here we are. Like I said, the girl did not take any notes. So I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as possible. Hopefully it won't all be done in my bathroom. And let's just talk about it. It's going to be half rant, half recap, which is why I said, maybe I'll make it a my 2 cents video instead of a full recap, because also since I didn't take any notes, I'm probably going to miss some things. I'm going to probably miss some things. I'm going to probably jump around. I'm probably have to go back to some things, but whatever. It's been a week. It's a 2 crystal kind of day, y'all. It's been a week. So the movie opens up and we have Kelly, like I said, Mia's character, her husband is Cal, and they are in a therapy session where they quite rightfully should be. And as they're going through this session and they're talking about this girl, Jenna, who her PI, Jimmy, played by Ron Rico Lee, caught my man at the coffee shop holding hands. He gets a call from his mom, and it's his mom's birthday. So he got to go. 20 minutes left to the session. He has to go. So I was already very aggravated with stuff. Like super duper aggravated. Didn't make no kind of sense. And then she decides to finish the session, which I was confusing because then she goes over to meet them at the restaurant anyway, and they waited for her. So why he couldn't just eat and finish out the session, I don't know. This movie gave me a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, but that's how CP does. And honestly, it kind of felt like, let's not get sunscreen in our eyes. It felt like 2 different movies to me. It's like one plot, and then there was another. They threw that curve at the end, which I wasn't impressed by. I mean, if you watch his shows and you watch his movies, you should be perfectly fine, because this is right up his alley. My favorite movie of his is The Family That Prays. Love that movie. Also, don't mind Why Did I Get Married? But this one, Kelly Rowland and Trevante. That's why we're here. So, like I said, we get to this dinner. The mom is a complete BI, but before she goes in, I think it was the owner of the restaurant is friends with Zaire, who is this artist, and that's Trevante Rhodes' character. He is on trial for unaliving his girlfriend. So he asked Kelly, Mia, to represent him. She's not really sure. I can totally see why. So the mom is a complete a-hole. You sit down, she done brought the girl to the dinner that he got caught out holding hands with, who's an old friend, and the mom is going to outright say, I wish you were my daughter-in-law. On top of that, Shannon Thornton, M.I. I, plays the brother's wife. So the two of them sit down at the other end of the table, and they chitting and chatting. And at first I thought the brother was gay. I ain't gonna hold you, not that there's anything wrong with that, because why is your wife sitting down at the other end of the table? But by the time we get out the restaurant, we realize that, and she did say to the therapist that the best friend is her sister-in-law. Problematic. Super duper problematic. So the dinner don't really mean much, except he gives the mom, I think it's like a diamond studded Rolex watch, which go Google how much those cost. And, you know, Kelly's irritated. The mom's throwing all kinds of shots, all kinds of shades. The brother is a DA that is going to be prosecuting Zaya. So as they're leaving, turns out, what was Shannon Thornton's character's name in the movie? I can't even remember. That's pretty bad. If I think of it coming up, it'll just pop out of my mouth and y'all just know what I'm talking about. So turns out she's bought 2 paintings from this man. I don't want to make this super, super duper long. So the long and the short of it, he comes into her office, Miss Mea. Put your number on my phone. Oh, sir, don't do me like that. But that's the interview that he was on, and she was liking it. She did not put her number in the phone. But what she did do is continue to go meet with this man and his law, which didn't really make no sense to me. The family didn't want her to take the case and was trying to tell her not to take the case. Like when the husband told her not to take the case, the husband was an anesthesiologist. He done lost his job going to work drunk and high on his own supply. And so she, as a lawyer, is paying all the bills, but the family doesn't know that. So when he's telling her not to take it, she's like, pick one of these bills. Pay one of these bills before you come at me and tell me what I can and cannot take. So he hushes his mouth, but he run up and tell his brother, or I think actually Shannon Thornton's character also kind of snitched on her a little bit. In any event, that just further makes her want to take the case because he's the DA, so he wants to take this guy down. It's going to be like a really big win for him. And la-da-dee, la-da-da. Okay. Ooh, so she takes the case. We got a whole bunch of different scenes. But part of the evidence was that they found blood and brain fragments, which y'all gonna have to let your girl know, because by the end of the movie, whose blood, whose brain fragments, but the girl was nowhere to be found. So the vibes that I got was Gone Girl. I'm like, undoubtedly, this girl is gonna turn up and she's still gonna be alive. And I mean, it's not really a spoiler alert because this whole thing is a spoiler. I think my face is dry enough to put makeup on. Let's just do. Let's do Boss Lady. Let's do a little Boss Lady, and then we'll come on out of this bathroom. I'll hit the pause button and pick back up. So she takes the case. He wants to meet at the loft. Whole time, it looks like she meeting at the loft at the nighttime. I digress, or at least that's how it looked to me. If I'm wrong, you can get down in the comments and feel free to politely correct me. But she's meeting at the loft, going through all these stories. They got all these witnesses, people talking about, you know, the man's kink, because the man is kinky, right? So there's this one lady who is responsible for starting his career and getting him on his feet, and she is a witness for the DA. We're going to pause right there. I'm back, y'all. So the gallery owner is played by Angela Robinson. Again, I think she's from the Have-Nots. Haven't watched that, so I wasn't really too familiar with, well, I'm familiar with her from other things, but not from that. Beautiful woman. Like I said, we're going to skip around. If I miss anything, you can let me know. Anything that you want to talk about. I started to do this as a live, but I have so much going on. Then I wasn't even sure I was going to do it. I'm rambling. Back to what we was talking about. So she finally does go to meet with this lady, but let me back up the train. Let me back up the train. I feel like I'm missing something. They have all these witnesses. There's a back and forth, and there's tension because the sexual tension between these two is thick. So there's all this tension. Mea has Jimmy, again played by Ron Rico Lee, doing some investigative work. So now he had been following the husband, who, like I said, unemployed. She comes home one day, he's playing video games with the girl. I said he is doing too much. They have some lazy sex in one scene, and I was like, ooh, mamas. But as she's going through this trial, she sits and he has her do a painting, and in the waves. How do you feel in your marriage? Blue. Okay, let's do blue. Close your eyes. And he has her painting waves, and child, mama could not do it. So before we get to that, now I'm trying to think if the sex dungeon, which didn't have anything to do with the movie, was before or after. I think that was before. One point, he leaves to go dancing, but there's like a sex dungeon at the other end of the building, which didn't have anything to do with anything. And everybody keeps saying that it reminds them of another movie that I've never seen before. I think it's called Addicted. I have to go watch it because my best friend said that. I heard other people say that. So they go over there. It has nothing to do with nothing. So now one other time, I can't even remember if that was the same time with the painting or not. She leaves. No, she comes to talk to him about something. And as she comes to talk to him about something, and he's trying to like have a moment with her, some naked lady comes out and he's talking about, I'm Jasmine from up the hall. I don't know if that was the lady's name, but I'm going to call her Jasmine. So she starts giving him sloppy toppy when Mea is leaving. Mea leaves in the car. She calls Jimmy. Jimmy got a photo of the husband. I think it's the same girl, Jenna, going into a hotel room at the Windsor, Whitmore, whatever it's called, room 714, 214. It don't really matter, baby. So what I thought she was going to do, which is what I would have done, because I need some of these things to make sense. I would have gone over there and verified. She didn't do that. She went hustling her ass back over there to Trevante Rhodes. Is that here? His place. Now at this point, the girl is, doing what she do on top. The girl he just kind of, she leaves. Mea comes in, they kiss. Then she's like, no, I can't do it. They get on a motorcycle. Now, y'all can fill me in on this one, because what it looked like to me, they got on a motorcycle, they drove around, and they came back to the loft. But it kind of looked different, so I don't know whether he had a separate studio that he drove to. Like I said, please get down, because that part had your girl a little confusion. So now, when they get in there, it gets hot and heavy. Everybody is mad at this man. He had no protection. He didn't wash his little stinky dingling after he was just with the other girl. But what they did do is get that paint on a tarp and make some beautiful love in a sexy, steamy scene on the canvas. So now she wakes up the next morning and her face is above her on the bed. That's a little creepy. She ain't peeped that he was painting her the other time because she didn't come around and look. So that was a little creepy. Now let's fast forward to the lady that I was talking about. The gallery owner won't take his stuff down. She goes to meet with him. I don't really know. At this point, we're like, she's giving up the case. She's taking the case. She's giving up the case. She's taking the case. So at this point, she's giving up the case. She goes to meet with the lady because that's the only person that she will meet with. And the lady, I think, just wanted to meet with her to get a vibe check, because she already knew what it was. So Mea is asking, like, has he been known to be violent? She's like, this is not the questions you should be asking. But yeah, I mean, he can, a snake and a snake getting that's the whole snake analogy. So then she basically walks her through it. She was having trouble in her relationship. He sat her down. How do you feel? What's the color? Blue. Paints the wave. Same as with Kelly, because she had asked Kelly, have you slept with him yet? And I'm like, Kelly, you're supposed to be a lawyer. You're supposed to have a better poker face than that. But poker face, she did not, because ma'am already knew what it was hitting for. She's telling her the story. Her face is saying 1,000 words, because this is the same exact thing he did with Kelly. Only different thing is, she was like, he said to her, that sounds more like red. So they put a little red on the canvas. Whole thing, wake up, love making. I don't know if there was paint involved in the love making then, but there's a picture of her. Kelly's all upset. Mea, all upset, storms out. So she goes back to his loft, and he's just thinking everything's good. They're just gonna, go off to the DR because this is where he met. No, he didn't meet the girl in the DR. He met the girl. Did he meet the girl in Italy in a restaurant? Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I watched this thing one time. I did not go back to rewatch any scenes. I did not take any notes. So that's why we try to jump around and make sense of the whole thing. So him, Zaire, and Mea talked about going to the DR because, he even washed her body off in the tub, washed the paint off. It was very, very sexy. So now she's all pissed. She goes in the bedroom. She starts tearing paintings back. It was Lisa, Keisha, Brenda, about 3 Kims. I mean, I said, oh my goodness gracious. Yikes. And it was several women before she got to the girl Heidi, which was who he supposedly unalived at the beginning of the movie. But we never saw any of this. We never got any court scenes in this movie, which I guess fine. Child, it was just a whole hot and crazy mess. So she's upset. He comes in and finds out, and there's a picture of the girl, and I think it's like, I hate you, you ruined my life. She drops the case. He's like kind of threatening her low key, and she was like, I will tell, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. I'll tell my husband, I'll tell my boss, I'll throw it all away. Which, why would you sleep with this man before you verified your husband was cheating? Which supposedly the husband wasn't cheating. The BITCH of a mama-in-law had cancer. Yeah, I'm gonna do cancer. And so she was supposedly getting worse. She was in the room, chemotherapy. Everybody was in there. We find out on the night that she slept with Zaire's character. The morning after, because the husband came into the office. Shannon Thorpe. I still can't think of the character's name. Came into the office. And baby, it was a lot. So she was like, if I'm going to tell, then I got to tell it all. Confessions. So she gives up the case. She goes, her and the husband must have went out to dinner. I guess she planned on telling the husband. They go into the house. The family kind of lays it on the table that she was let go for inappropriate conduct. We get down to she has slept with this man. But before that, she kind of flips it on him and makes him confess to his family that he ain't had no job. She's been supporting him the past 8 months, that he's been in rehab. So he confesses that. But then he finds out she slept with her. He's throwing tables. He's all upset. The famous say, get out of here, Mea. So she leaves. And what does she do? I don't know why my light went out. I guess maybe it needs to be charged. It should be enough sunlight. Hopefully you guys can see me. So then she takes herself over to the DR, and then this is where they kind of lost me. There's some more questions that I have about this movie, so I kind of feel like I really should have wrote them down, and I will try to address them as best as I can. I might have to go into the Twitter and look and see, because I had some of the same questions as those people had. She goes to the DR, which was, this whole thing was stupid, and where the movie kind of lost me, because we were doing good. He basically admitted that he was guilty. She's in the DR. As she's in the DR taking a run, she runs it. Now, Jimmy had been looking for the girl. He had went over there, didn't find nobody by that name. Birth certificate, went to the police, whole 9 yards. The lady don't exist. So I'm assuming she used a different name. Some people, I guess, might have known. They were afraid to talk to him. So now Mea has seen a whole photo album with pictures of him and this woman. She recognizes the lady. She stops her and she's like, Heidi. And she's like looking scared. So she goes to like videotape her on the phone. Homegirl sprayed in the eye with the Windex or whatever. Took her phone, knocked her down. Now, I don't know how she ends up at the police station with a whole new phone, because I could have swore that the lady took her phone and ran off. But maybe she dropped it along the way. I don't know. I don't think she ever got any recordings on her anyway. So then she calls Jimmy, but she also calls the DA brother-in-law, which they just kicked you out. They don't like you. They're not feeling you, to tell her, like, he's not guilty. You got the man sitting in jail. The lady's still alive. So he tells her, come home. You can't do this by yourself. Nah, I'd have got Jimmy and somebody else to take care of it. But her dumb ass comes all the way back from the DR to the family home. The husband's not there. The mama-in-law is there. She cooking. The sister-in-law is there / best friend. The brother-in-law is there. She stumbles upon this red room. She sees a painting, because remember, the wife had bought paintings from the guy. He couldn't understand. She sees the pit. She pulls back. She sees the layer of the best friend. Da 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 da. The best friend has also slept with this man. So she calls Jimmy. Jimmy has sent her an email. The email revealed that the mother-in-law did not have cancer. Surprise, surprise. So then the mom kind of walks up as she's coming out of the room, falls knee first onto her phone, breaks it. I said, this is about to do this child. So they're sitting down. The brother-in-law gets her a drink. You can see something bubbling. And I said, please, please, mama, don't drink that. So she's like, oh, you don't have cancer. No, because now at this point, the brother-in-law is running for mayor. No, I'm gonna get the sympathy vote. I was like, dude, if this ain't about the dumbest that I've ever seen or heard in my life. So they tell the best friend to stab her because they would try to make sure she didn't get her hand on a knife. She doesn't do it. They get to tussling and fighting and carrying on. The mama-in-law ends up getting Shannon Thornton with the knife. He got a gun, but the sister-in-law throws her the key. So she finally ends up getting out. She in the car, but she don't close the door. So he opens the door. They tussling. She hits the tree. The mama-in-law goes flying off. Child, I don't even know. So now she gets to running up the street. She runs up the street, runs into the husband, which again, he's not fooling with you. They just then expose this whole thing, which we find out, which you already know by the picture, that the friend had also slept with the guy, that they had set the guy up. So I'm assuming, because my whole confusion was like, well, who's blood and brain fragments? So I guess because he's the DA, he's crooked. He just made it up and lied, and there was no blood fragments. I would say they paid the lady off, but the lady was in the DR doing housekeeping. So yeah, I don't really know. They was, sending the mom. Now I'm getting off on a tangent on all the things. Some of the things I had questions about. They was sending the brother, $3,000 for the mother's chemo. I guess they was using it for the campaign. I guess because it clearly wasn't to pay her old girl up. So she decides to get in the car with the husband and tell the husband what's going on. I said, I thought what was going to happen was when he let her in the passenger side, that she was going lock the doors, hop over, and drive off. That's what she should have done. That's not what she done. She gets her dumb ass in the car. Tells him, he's like, oh, I'm going to call 911. Whole time, he's still driving towards the house. Mea, you don't notice he's driving towards the house? So he's like, oh, she won't say, blah, blah, blah. So then I guess he kind of hung up. She peeps that he's driving towards the house. 911 calls him back, which technically they can, but they usually don't. That's kind of reserved. Like if you have a kid and the kid, you're on a landline, which they weren't, you hang up, they will call you back. But I digress. Don't ask me how I know. So she decides, because it was a scene earlier where he didn't know how to use the Bluetooth. So she presses the button on the Bluetooth and hears the brother-in-law saying the B figured it all out. So she sees like a huge truck coming, and what she decides to do, because the whole time I'm thinking, okay, maybe she gonna hop out the car. No, she don't hop out the car. The wheel, so he hits the semi, goes through the window, but I'm like, you ran the risk of you also getting hurt. So I'm trying to think where we went from there, because she didn't go back to the house. We see the news story. The guy, he gets arrested, the brother-in-law. I'm assuming everybody else was gone. The brother-in-law gets arrested. Hold on, y'all. My nose be nosing, but I made it look. I made it through most of this without having that problem. I'm assuming everybody's gone. We see or hear, I think his name is Zaire, and I hope I'm not calling this man the wrong name, on TV saying that he basically thanks her because she's the one that got him off, and he could go on about his life. And she texts her, thank you. And then she throws the phone in the garbage. Man, we could have changed your number, blocked his call, but throw your phone in the garbage. And she's like, a little trench coat and the glasses. And I was just like, Tyler Perry, I guess. I'm trying to think what my other questions were. One was about, to me, like I said, it was two different movies, because you had the good thing of you thought it was going to be a nice little trial, and then she was into the man, but the man just was sleeping with everybody. And I really wanted to get further into that. He just was sleeping with everybody, including the gallery owner who put her on to game. Um, and that was one thing. And then they set him up. Okay, I get it. He slept with the wife. But like the whole thing about the mayoral campaign, I don't know, y'all. It was two different movies to me. A lot of it didn't make sense. I just, oh, yeah, somebody said if her brother-in-law was running for public office, he and his wife were probably on the news. How is it that Zaire never knew who he was married to? I had that question also. Many unanswered questions in this movie. Why did he take the ride on the motorbike just to come back home? I think it may have been two separate locations. I had that too. How and when did Heidi agree to fake her death? Which, like I said, she was housekeeping, so clearly they didn't pay her off. Maybe they just scared her and told her not to come back. Did she go to jail? Somebody asked, was losing the job fake? I don't think that losing the job was fake. Um, I just want to get through a couple questions because, like I said, I'm trying not to do a real rant of rants. People don't try that paint scene at home. Don't even try it. You have all kinds of, wide eyes and everything else. Don't do it. It was hella sexy, but don't do it. Please don't do it. How did the brother and husband know about Zaire and the connection? When did Charlize, oh Lord, thank you. That was Shannon Thornton's character. When did Charlize sleep with him? Why did we only see Heidi for 5 seconds? Who the F gets a call back from 911? I mean, it was so many. So Heidi was just chilling in the DR. Whose blood and skull were on the painting? Is the mom even dead? I'm assuming so. Why did she just block the number instead of throwing the whole phone away? And what was that ending? I mean, these are just some of the questions that your girl had. Like I said, I could have go on a full-on rant. I didn't even plan to come on here and talk about this, but here we are. Please get down in the comments. Let me know if you've seen this foolish list. Let me know what you thought about it. I mean, it was a TP production. So, it is what it is, child. Like I said, I had so many questions. It seemed like it was two different stories. I have to go check out Addicted and see what that's hitting for, because the people were saying that was better than this. The cinematography was wonderful. Love the all-star cast. Kelly clearly has somebody to do her own hair. She was like, I'm not taking the Tyler Perry wigs, as did Trevante Rhodes, because y'all already know how that goes. Child, I be hitting the thing on this computer and you hit it twice and it don't do what you want it to do. You gotta be real gentle with it. I should have put my spoilers ahead on here. I forgot. I was in the bathroom. Like I said, I hope the audio wasn't too bad on that. Please, like I said this before, but now I have it here. Please leave a comment in the comment section. It was an impromptu video. I think it's going to be my 2 cents. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I hope I didn't miss anything, because when I do things this way on StreamYard, then I can't go back and kind of edit. Sometimes when I'm editing, I have the questions and I put it on the screen, or I make corrections if I said the wrong name on the screen. I don't have that capability here. Well, I probably do. I just don't know how to do it. So there's that. Also, please help your girl get to 300. I said by the end of Black History Month, we're already there. Help a sister out. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Sharing is caring and all of that good stuff. Check out some of my other videos. I am doing Bold and Bougie. I did a live for that. There was no Love and Marriage DC this week, which I had scheduled. I had to move that to next week. So tune in next Saturday for a first reaction for Love and Marriage DC. Also, my watch list is coming, y'all. Hopefully I'll get it out today after this, or after my live. I have a live schedule for Love is Blind, episodes 7 through 9. Keep your notifications on. There were so many more things that I wanted to get to that I didn't get to, but let's just see. We'll see what I'm able to get to at the end of the day. Check out Blood and Water. The audio is kind of I'm going to try to get out episode 2 for that. I wanted to get up all 6 before March 1st when we have season 4 dropping. I'm rambling. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more. Again, notifications, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.